Yo, the pages turn black book, burning in the zone. Freezy with the mic, giant sitting on the throne. Big blue bruisers, Sundays clashing titans. Highlight reels, bodies dropping, no reciting. On Black Freezy TV, the streets keep it live. Chop beats hitting harder than a goal line drive. Huddle up, play by play with a raw precision. This ain't for the timid, it's the bold division, the black book.
What's going on, Big Blue Nation? Sports fans all around the world. It's your humble brother, Black Freezy, representing 1/6 of the mighty Shakedown. And today on this episode of the Black Book, we're going to go over some of the things that happened in the voluntary workout and some of the updated and latest with our New York Football Giants. Let's get into it. Well, first things first, the New York Football Giants show up to voluntary workouts April the 7th. Looks like it was some good participation there. John Harbaugh talked about in the presser. Everybody showed up except for 3. Of course, the young man in question, Dexter Lawrence, Paulson Adebo, and Sam Roberts, who had an injury. Yeah, I like what I see from the photos on Giants.com. Everybody's looking like they're ready to go, man. All right, let's get into some more of the latest and greatest of the New York Football Giants news. All right, so as we know, the New York Football Giants have signed Lucas Patrick, veteran stabilizer, the play guard and center, 6'3", 313-pound veteran, played 113 games, 65 starts. Mr. Lucas played 28 games at center, 19 at left guard, 18 at right guard, logging over 1,000 snaps at all 3 interior spots. So basically, Lucas Patrick is the new Austin Schlottman. He's the new Slotty out here. Slotty on your body. Shout out to Justin Pennick of the Talking Giants. Putting out some good info here, man. Pass blocking efficiency numbers by the year for Mr. Lucas Patrick. 2024, he was tied for 6th at guard. 2023, he was tied for 18th at center. 2021, he was tied for 13th at center. In 2020, he was tied at 10th for guard. All guards, excuse me. That's some pretty good stuff, man. Pretty versatile guy, huh? The Matt Nagy product. I'm pretty sure he's tied to Matt Nagy in some way, and we'll get into that with the presser there. But there you go, Lucas Patrick. You are now a New York Football Giant. All right, moving on to the more controversial portion of this. The New York Football Giants also sign Daniel Falele, 6'8", 370 pounds of Nephilim. This guy is huge, boss. This guy is huge. A very, very massive man. Very similar to the Evan Neal situation. Very massive man that'll latch onto you and be able to move and direct you, but has 2 left feet, man. This guy has 2 left damn feet. He's another one that, it's like, when he's moving, it looks like he's moving in quicksand. So, but at right guard, so we're not going to the Buffett hungry. John Harbaugh gets his son, Daniel Falele. At right guard, 66 regular season games, 35 starts, 34 starts at right guard. Yeah, he's a right tackle that's playing right guard. His lateral agility is what's at question. Over 30 pressures and 4 sacks allowed. According to PFF, we call that the Bible when it comes to football. 56.8 overall grade, 60.1 pass blocking grade, and a 53.5 run blocking grade. So he's mediocre toka, baby. Also came through the IMG Academy, just like Evan Neal. Very interesting, man. 6'8", 370 is crazy. Only 26 years old, and so this is the reason why you want to take a fly on Daniel Falele and do that coach thing. I can fix it. I can fix this. You remember Will Smith on I Am Legend? I can fix it. So Daniel Falele, not too happy. Would rather Kevin Zeitler type of situation. For me, even Van Roten. I know a lot of people down on Van Roten, but I'll take Van Roten. No problem at all. At least for some depth to, until we get into the draft to get his replacement under control. Cheap contract. But Daniel Falele, like it or not, guys, he is a New York Football Giant. All right, so we'll get into some of the presser from John Harbaugh. Pretty much, gave updates on Cam Scatterbo, Malik Neighbors, them, popping in looking good, coming in for the workouts, and Kayvon Thibodeau coming in shape, looking good, and he was asked, some things about if Kayvon was a trade product, and let's hear what he had to say.
Try to be excited about every single day. Try to approach the day, as my dad would say, with an enthusiasm unknown to mankind. And we talked to the guys about that today, and we had a good time. We had fun. We had great meetings. It was just a joy to be around the guys. We had all but 3 guys here, and it was just amazing. So that's what it is. It's just a bunch of people coming together to build something together that is a team, and plays like a team, and plays like a team better than any other team. And if you do that, then you have a chance to be the best team. The Giants, speaking for the Giants, we want Dexter here, and I believe Dexter wants to be here. That's a good formula, but there's business involved. It's a business proposition. We know it's pro football. These things happen every year, pretty much on every team. So not surprised by it. Saw it coming a few weeks back probably, and good conversations with Dexter's agent, Joel Siegel, and understood what they were thinking. And this is where we're at. So we'll just try to work through it and see where we can get done. Paulson wasn't here, and we had Sam wasn't here because he has a surgery that he can't travel with yet. He's got to wait for the stitches to heal on. So those are the 3.
Also an excused absence, or is that unexpected?
There's no excused or unexcused. It's voluntary. Guys come or not come according to their choosing. Voluntary type time of year. I think he's a great player. I'm excited about him. I was fired up to see him today. He looks great. He's in great shape. And now I'm thinking about him on the field. I'm thinking about getting him plugged into our defense and getting him rolling. I think, you want to talk about is he a trade possibility? Everybody's tradable. Everybody. Even you're tradable, Dan. If we could get something for you, we'd trade you in a heartbeat, man. But,
There you have it. Building something together that plays like a team. This is just inspirational, just to hear John out there giving us some of that good coach speak. It's inspirational to hear. I would love to see the team amalgamize and see exactly, it's my favorite word, amalgamize, right? And come together, and see what type of product we actually have. That's why I can't wait until after the draft. But that was Coach Harbaugh and his presser. Let's move on to Matt Nagy. Let's hear what he had to say.
I remember coming away really impressed with Jackson and his accuracy. And then I didn't know back then, a year ago, or 2 years ago, I didn't know how tough he was and how good of a runner he was. He was a really good, sneaky good runner, tough, physical, played the quarterback position well, accurate, and you could see he was a competitor. And I remember then at the combine, us not really being in the quarterback market, watching him, just kind of observing how he handled himself in that group of guys at the combine. And you could see this moxie that he had, and he had this it factor. It's really been invigorating for me to your question. You have all these guys that have all this experience and backgrounds of coordinators, head coaches. There's a lot. There's a lot of guys. And so going into this, you can look at it different ways. I think if you look at it one way, you could say, well, my title is offensive coordinator and it's my job to do everything. That's not true. We have so many, Coach Harbs did such a great job at bringing in guys with a ton of experience. And I'd be foolish to not use that. Yeah, it's going to be physical. I can tell you that. Now, there's different ways when we say physical. I think if you look at any team that Coach Harbaugh has always had on both sides, all three phases. Like the word physical is the first thing you think of. So it's going to start there. That's not a hidden fact. But from there now, we got to work around our players' strengths, and we got to say, okay, in the run game, in pass pro, in the pass game, these buckets that we form of all three phases, where do we want to start? Well, we got to start with these guys understanding how we do things. And then once we get to OTAs and into training camp, well, it'll kind of start to get personalized. And what I see from that is a really great mix of different things. And
All right. So Matt Nagy said this is not a copy and paste. He said this will be the New York Giants offense. The brand starts with brutality at the line of scrimmage, baby. Stripping away all of the complicated play calling for players so they can play fast, without all of this processing. You don't want the kids out there buffering. You don't want them out there buffering. You want them playing fast. According to him, he's going to tailor something directly suited for Jackson Dart and the personnel, borrowing pieces from Kansas City and Baltimore. Yeah, well, Matt Nagy also talked about the musical chairs at right guard, saying that competition is beautiful. The Giants are loading up on offensive linemen, multiple veterans at this point. We got Daniel Falele, Lucas Patrick. You can't, I think Joshua Azudu is more of a left guard, him and Aaron Stinney, but you could put them in the mix. Evan Neal, there's an open slot there at right guard, and there's a party there, and I'll meet you there. Matt Nagy talking all the right things, man. Sounds good. So now let's move on to Denard Wilson and see what he had to say.
I'll put it like this, in terms of the structure and the way we play, we're going to be unpredictable. Okay, we're going to be unpredictable on how we line up and what we do. All right, we're going to be dynamic because we have dynamic players, and it's our job to put those dynamic players in the greatest positions to have success. We're going to be decisive on what we do and how we do it. We're going to game plan. We're going to have detailed and educated pressures. All right. And then we're going to be unapologetic in our approach. Those are the four things that we're going to do. And the unapologetic part of our approach is we're going to be playing nasty. We're going to play physical. We're going to play violence. We're going to live on the edge and play on the edge, but we're not going to hurt the team. We're going to be suffocating to the point that we impose our wills on people. And the players are going to buy into that mindset. And it all starts from a mindset. We're going to play the New York football brand of football, and that's violent defense.
All right, there you have it. Denard Wilson, man. Denard Wilson said he wants a violent defense, unpredictable, unapologetic, dynamic, decisive, physical, nasty, suffocating, stopping the run. When you hear Denard Wilson up there, and you hear him talking about, where he comes from, his lineage, and you hear Jeff Fisher and Todd Bowles, and you're like, what the hell? So you already know he's coming heavy-handed, and from everything that we already have on our defensive line, I can't wait. Denard Wilson, man, heavy-handed, physical, nasty, suffocating. I love it. All right, so the big takeaways here, man. Is Falele a better right guard than JVR? And is Lucas Patrick a better center guard replacement than Austin Slotman? I guess those would be the big questions coming out of that. Those two signings, are these upgrades? That was just a long way to say, are these upgrades? So ultimately, at the end of the day, this is nothing but excitement from me, Black Friday. I'm loving this. Can't wait to the draft. Make sure you stay tuned in and locked in for everything New York Football Giants when it comes to the Shakedown, Black Freezy TV, and all of the family. Make sure you're liking, subscribing to the family. Join the tribe, man. Run up and sub up. Show some love to the fam. You know what I mean? Well, this is your humble brother, Black Freezy, and I'm out. Peace.
Black book, Freezy with